An island that was once called the Venice of Cuba is now fighting to stay afloat. Climate catastrophes and political crises have forced the residents to abandon their homes now, but some are reluctant to leave. Our next report telling you why.
Once the COVID-19 pandemic hit, borders were shut. People resisted stepping out and the world was put to a standstill. It was a nightmare for countries that heavily depended on tourism. One such nation was Cuba. Number of tourists fell drastically and their borders remained closed for the longest. But for one Cuban town, it was like deja vu. This is how Isabela De Sagua used to look like back in 1985. This is the town now. It used to be a blooming coastal area. Tourists swamped from worldwide, pumping local businesses. It was known as the Venice of Cuba. But then in 1985, the unthinkable happened. Cyclone Kate wiped out its USP. The floating wooden houses, number of incoming tourists depleted. It affected businesses and the local economy.
When I came back after the cyclone, I was in the shelters in Sagua. I came, and when I arrived, I found my house completely destroyed. Made of wood, I lost my TV, I lost my radio, my food, my clothes. I was left with nothing.
But the locals did not give up. Even after authorities offered better housing in a neighboring island, they refused to abandon their land. For 37 years, generations after generations, people of this town have been rebuilding what was lost.
Sagua was too industrial and the rest was exported through here. The port was dredged according to the drafts. The last time I think it was dredged to 27 or 28 feet or something like that. Bigger ships came in, followed by many bigger ships and so on. The port was the life of this town, but unfortunately, it no longer exists.
It used to have a booming port where boats full of sacks of sugar, carafes of honey and alcohol set sail. Channels were formed between the rustic dwellings. But in 1990, with the fall of socialist camp, the port fell a victim. Today, the town is dedicated to fishing and depending largely on remittances. Climate change also continued to promote wearing. In September 2017, Hurricane Irma made landfall as a Category 5. Half of the population has abandoned that idyllic corner of the Cuban coast. And with poor housing and slumping economy, it is hard to keep up the morale.
There are thousands of local residents here who do not want to leave. What is happening that the housing conditions are very bad. If new housing could be built here, no one would leave.
Bureau Report, WION. World is one.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.